Sir, our party is an inheritor of great traditions of national service. True to this heritage, we commit ourselves to providing a firm and purposeful sense of direction to the reform process so that this ancient land of India regains its glory and rightful place in the comity of nations. This budget represents a contribution to the successful implementation of this great national enterprise of building an India free from the fear of war, want and exploitation, an India worthy of the dreams of the founding fathers of our republic. We shall pay any price, bear any burden, make any sacrifice to realize those dreams. India is on the move again. We shall make the future happen. Sir, I have come to the end of my labor. Tonight, I feel like going to the theatre. Let the assassins be informed. I am prepared to meet their onslaughts. As the poet said, सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है, देखना है जोर कितना बाजुए बातिल में है. Sir, I commend the budget for this others.
When India grows, the world grows. When India reforms, the world transforms.
In India, the present is changing rapidly. A new India is taking place, and there are many reasons for it. One, economic reforms are taking place at a speed and a scale not known so far. Over 10,000 measures by central and state governments in the last 2 years have helped us move up to 42 places in the ease of doing businesses. Over 1,400 outdated laws have been repealed.
आज मैं आपको, पूरे देश को ये बताने आया हूं कि हमने 3 कृषि कानूनों को वापस लेने का, रिपील करने का निर्णय लिया है. इस महीने के अंत में शुरू होने जा रहे संसद सत्र में, इसी महीने में हम 3 कृषि कानूनों को रिपील करने की संवैधानिक प्रक्रिया को पूरा कर देंगे.
The political situation of the country is not at all fluid. It is absolutely fine. But we also must understand we have a strong judicial system in India, and the system is such a robust system that we have that anybody that who flouts the law will ultimately land up in such kind of situation. India Leadership Conclave's vision and objective has always been to empower the entrepreneurs and enterprises. Who will believe that such a person like President of India, the most powerful person in the world, doesn't know what to speak? Demonetization was a disaster. GST is a game changer. GST is a game changer. GST is a game changer.
It has been 30 years since India's landmark economic reforms in 1991. India Leadership Conclave, the flagship iconic leadership event of Network 7 Media Group, is closely looking at the legacy of the Narasimha Rao-Manmohan Singh reforms and shift focus to 2021. India Leadership Conclave is of the opinion that a special dialogue on the reforms needed to kickstart India's economy, which is facing the challenges of rebuilding as we are in the midst of global pandemic of COVID-19, Scripting the historic milestone, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi said, "We are witnessing the triumph of Indian science, enterprise and collective spirit of 130 crore Indians. Congrats India on crossing 100 crore vaccinations. Gratitude to our doctors, nurses and all those who work to achieve this feat." The theme of the 12th Annual India Leadership Conclave 2021 is Reforms, Perform or Perish. Ladies and gentlemen, India Leadership Conclave believes that the challenges of the 21st century cannot be served by the institutions of the 20th century. Once an object of pity, India has become an object of envy. It has been called a potential superpower and the only credible check on Chinese power in Asia in the 21st century. Conceptualized and ideated by veteran journalist Dr. Satya Brahma, India Leadership Conclave and Indian Affairs Power Brand Awards is the flagship annual leadership program of Network 7 Media Group. Curated in the year 2009, India Leadership Conclave's first edition was held under the theme at the Hotel Taj Palace, New Delhi. Will Indian economy bounce back by 2010? Reflected the thoughts of the business and the people both within the country and outside. After the huge success of the country's prestigious event, India Leadership Conclave has made a deep impact, and over the last 11 annual editions, the event has emerged as a vital destination of exchange of ideas where the leading authorities and influential leaders from the various spectrums of the society, both in India and abroad, to debate and discuss issues of tremendous significance. Speaking on the reforms in India, Dr. Satya Brahma, Chairman and Editor-in-Chief of Network 7 Media Group said, "Tough reforms are very difficult in the Indian context. We have too much of democracy. You needed political will to carry out these reforms, and many more reforms still need to be done. We also need greater devolution of power from the center to states and from states to local bodies. India's constitution is a mess of conflicting provisions, including a concurrent list where both the center and state can legislate. As politics has become more regional, some political and economic power has indeed shifted to states, but cities are still powerless to design their own future. We need to scrap the concurrent list and devolve more economic power to the lowest possible political levels. If a third front ever comes to power in Delhi, it does not matter if its constituents have no common policy. One common thread that should unite them is the need for big constitutional changes than devolve power away from Delhi. Some 1.36 billion people can't be governed effectively from Delhi, and several million cannot be ruled from state capitals. Converting crisis into an opportunity is riskier than it sounds. In the current scenario, India needs to act quickly to avoid imminent crisis. If not resolved, the growing NPA problem can aggravate the balance sheet imbalances of the banking sector. This would require reforms to make the banking and financial sector more transparent and accountable. Ladies and gentlemen, India Leadership Conclave believes that as India marks 30 years since the 1991 reforms that opened up India's economy and polity to the world, India Leadership Conclave curates a compendium of topics that delve into India's journey from a country threatened by a balance of payments crisis to one that is fast on its way to becoming a $5 trillion economy. The delivery of all government services remains substandard. Political interference has eroded the independence and quality of institutions, ranging from the police and courts to educational and cultural institutions. India's economic reforms over 25 years have transformed it from a low-income country to a middle-income one. But to become a high-income country, India must liberalize the economy much further improve governance and raise the quality of its institutions. So clearly, our achievements over the 30 years of economic reforms have been visible in multiple ways. As a result of higher rates of economic growth, the number of people living below the poverty line has significantly decreased. Illustratively, a 2020 UNDP report found that a record 273 million people were lifted out of poverty in just one decade from 2005 to 2016. We have, over this period, also expanded access to education and healthcare, increased consumer choice patterns, and fostered a new generation of innovative entrepreneurs and small businesses. The service sector has come to occupy an important place in the pattern of our economic activity. The large bouquet of consumer choices is in sharp contrast to their limited availability in 1991. The change and the dialogue is staggering. It was in 1991, 3 decades ago, that India left with little time or options, ushered in pivotal economic reforms. It opened up its economy and abolished the intricate system of controls that gave the state primacy in most aspects of business and daily life. No power on earth can stop an idea whose time has come, the then Finance Minister Manmohan Singh said during his 1991 budget speech, quoting French poet Victor Hugo. If the reforms process started under the government that faced a balance of payments crisis under Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao, it has continued in fits and starts under various governments since then, shackled by coalition politics or lack of consensus at different periods, and for the first time under a government with a single party majority under Prime Minister Narendra Modi since 2014. Today, India's economy is facing exceptional headwinds yet again, battered by a pandemic. The circumstances are ripe for deep reforms. While the immediate reality is difficult, the sentiment is on the upswing. The vaccine rollout has begun. It's an opportune time to look back and take stock. How have these 30 years transformed India? What's the unfinished agenda? What are the pitfalls to watch out for? What do the next 3 decades hold in store? Ladies and gentlemen, one of the great paradoxes is that Indian industry is capital intensive despite the country having surplus labor. Job creation in industry has been weaker than expected. Gauging from the pace of Gati Shakti, the speed and force of reforms that have propelled the economic upturn in 2021, it is expected that Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi will leave no stone unturned until 2024 to end his second innings as the tallest reformer of post-independent India. He retains the political mandate and has the political will to persist with tough reforms. The fact that he holds the highest global approval ratings of 70% in the post-COVID times will help build the momentum for India's century.